It was one small step towards reconciliation in Hamilton today as councillor James Casson arrived at the Jamia Masjid to say sorry. The outspoken former policeman had earlier posted on Facebook that the terrorist has won if people keep mourning and holding vigils. Following his public apology on Checkpoint earlier this week, Mr Casson fronted at the mosque today, but as Alex Perrottet and cameraman Dan Cook report, he wasn't allowed inside and was forced to make his mea culpa in the car park.
Police officers had been on site since 6 a.m. ahead of Friday prayers at the Hamilton Mosque as around 200 people from a broad range of cultures streamed in. Lisa is a local and had made small gifts that she was handing out as she greeted worshippers with Assalamu alaikum. In the wake of James Casson's comments that the country needs to stop mourning and move on, she says she'd come to show her support.
I think a lot of people are now saying, let's move on, and I'm not ready to move on quite yet. I'm wanting to still show that support, show that it's ongoing love for the community, the Muslim community.
James Casson arrived on foot alone and was convinced he was going to be invited into the mosque to talk to the community. He was later joined by councillor Dave McPherson, who only days ago was involved in a public slinging match with Mr Casson. He said the two of them thought better about it and quickly buried the hatchet.
Now it's all kiss and make up. So what's happened the last
Well,
few
it's not look, there was a human cost on James that you could see. His wife wasn't here, no one was here to support him, his family were all elsewhere, and we'd made our point. He couldn't take back what he'd said, but I think the turning point for me, and I know the Mayor, because we're in the same meeting, came when James said, I'm sorry, it's 100% my fault, no one else contributed, it was just me, and they stopped there. There's no equivocation or anything like it. It was that we believe it was a genuine apology, and I think we can all move forward. You can't take back off the internet what's already on there.
As worshippers streamed out of the mosque, Waikato Muslim Association President Dr Assad Mohsin was adamant Mr Casson stayed outside and asked anyone in the car park who wanted to hear the apology to come forward. A big ask for these people to approach a man who had earlier posted that Middle Easterners migrating to Europe were scum, and the solution to terror attacks there was retribution and extreme violence.
It is your choice whether you forgive him or not. That's absolutely up to the community. However, he's here, he's our guest.
All right, I've made some comments that may have caused offence to some in the Muslim community and the wider New Zealand public. So I've come down here today not to ask for any forgiveness, but to apologise for any offence caused. I want to make it known that sometimes I can be insensitive, but I'm not a racist person, and nothing was meant to cause offence to anybody. So that's why I'm here today, just to show my face, to say I am that person that has been reported, and that I want to apologise wholeheartedly to everyone in the Muslim faith and to anybody else that's taken offence.
Dr Mohsin says although the comments were hurtful, anyone who apologises must at least be heard.
There were few people in the community who were intensely offended, and they also had thought that he should not even be allowed to come in the mosque. And I value what they're trying to say, and I can imagine where they are coming from. It just reflects how hurt they would have been.
But others were sceptical of councillor Casson's mea culpa. With local body elections coming up in September, the councillor has made it clear he intends to run for the mayoralty.
He's just trying to get back into office, basically. He understands it's his election year. I don't think he actually is apologetic about it. I think he's purely doing it because of the uproar. He feels as if he needs to apologise just to save his own face.
I think it's disgusting. I don't think that it should have been said at all, especially in a place where the Muslim community is so strong here in Hamilton. Especially after the terror attacks, the Hamilton people really banded together, and I think it's disgusting for a councillor here to have made those comments.
But Dr Mohsin says the best solution to hateful and ignorant comments is to spread even wider the messages of love and compassion shared since the terror attack.
I realised in the last 2.5 weeks or so that really people are beautiful, and that is the majority of New Zealand. I think what is important that majority of New Zealand continues to keep these statements, keep this pot boiling. so that even if there are other voices, then they should not be heard in the bigger bang and the bigger voice of a unified New Zealand.
In Hamilton, Kirikiriroa for Checkpoint, Alex Perrottet.